She's all right when you get to know her. This is my podcast, and it takes you from your restrictive, toxic, life-limiting 9 to 5 into a life on your terms, full of freedom and flexibility as a self-employed virtual assistant. So whether this is your first introduction into the possibility of becoming a VA, or perhaps you've been doing a bit of Googling already, I'm going to get rid of the overwhelm, rid of the self-doubt, and show you that this life is possible. I've not just started this rodeo, you know. I'm Gladwyn, and I've been doing what you think is impossible since 2015. Shall we get started? Okay, so in this episode, as the title suggests, I'm going to help you look for more clients as a virtual assistant. And I'm going to list a few things that work, things that I use in my own business, and they may be things that you've not yet thought of or that have fallen off your to-do list because you've been busy with other things. I'm going to share some hacks with you. I think there's one thing in my list that I've probably shared previously, but you might have forgotten about it. Now, whether you've got 1 client, 4 clients, or you've just lost a client, it's always handy to have these things in your back pocket. And while you're busy with clients and you're just throwing out your marketing and you're doing your audience building, you may forget about the other things on my list. I'm going to recommend perhaps bookmarking this episode so that you can come back to it at any time. Maybe have a folder in your email account that is how to get more clients. Now, I'm going to try not to rush this because I've wanted to record it all week, but my neighbour has decided, I don't know whether I shared with you, but my neighbour likes to do lots of building work. He's a lovely guy. His wife's lovely. We're blessed to have them as neighbours. But what makes me laugh is he don't seem to finish a job. At the moment, he's doing his driveway. And what was I doing earlier this week? I was recording a video for my inquiry to onboarding training. I was updating that. And it had taken me quite a while to get it all ready. I like to type it out first so that I don't lose my train of thought. And, I've got to work it around my fatigue and what have you. As soon as I hit record, he's got this banging thing to level out the ground. I can't believe it. So, it's raining today. He's not out there. So we should be safe. If we hear banging, it's probably me putting him under the ground, to be honest with you. There's going to be 3 hits. There's going to be 3 bangs. Me hitting him hitting the floor, and the ambulance hitting 90. All right, yeah, let's carry on. Right. So looking for more clients. You may think that you've exploited all options. So hopefully what I'm going to share with you in this episode will be like, oh my God, yeah, I forgot about doing that. Or, oh my God, I didn't even think of that because I've been so stressed about getting more clients. But first, a bit of mindset. I want to remind you that needing clients isn't embarrassing. Every business owner needs clients. In fact, hiding that you need clients could actually be doing potential clients a disservice. You're allowing them to, if you look at it like this, you're actually allowing them to continue to struggle on their own without you. So don't ever be embarrassed that you've got capacity, you've got availability or anything like that. That's what being in business is all about. So in this episode, I'm going to be sharing exactly what to do if those inquiries have dried up and you're looking for more clients. I just briefly said about getting over the, in inverted commas, shame of needing clients. You're a business owner. All you're doing is advertising your business. You're promoting what's needed to keep you in business. And the reason I say keep marketing is so that you never run out of inquiries. But also, if you stop marketing, it's like when you stop going to the gym or you stop seeing a certain friend, it's really hard to get back into it again. I mean, let me use an analogy, right? Imagine the local theatre's got a panto organised for Christmas, right? Oh, yes, they have. I might edit that bit out, to be honest with you. But how are they going to sell tickets? How are they going to sell tickets to the panto? They're not going to sell tickets by being quiet about it, by not putting any posters up, by not telling the staff about it, by not getting any radio advertisements done. They're not going to sell any tickets by putting out there that they're completely sold out when actually they've not sold any tickets. You have to promote something to sell it. If you're not telling people about something, then nobody's going to buy it. There's going to be lots of you listening to this that are brand new VAs and you feel that you've been working your butt off marketing and things like that. And I've got to admit, sometimes I do a search and rescue when new VAs are just really feeling that it's never going to happen. And I go to your perhaps LinkedIn and you've got 12 connections and you've posted 3 times over the last 4 months. It's not enough. You've got to keep marketing. You've got to keep telling people. And it does happen. It will happen. But marketing, advertising is essential for any business to stay in business. You are a business owner. You're not a failure. You keep going, you keep doing it, and it does happen. How many times, right? Another example, just to make you, further realize that what you're doing is right. And by keep doing it, it's gonna happen. You are gonna get clients from it. I mean, how many times has somebody said to you, "Oh my God, did you see this program on ITV, Channel 4 or Netflix or wherever it was?" And you're like, "No." I mean, what is that Valley thing that finished? It had like 5 or 8 series or something with Sarah Lancaster. Oh my God, I hadn't ever heard about that until it had finished, until all of the series had finished. And then I watched it. And it came up as a recommendation in a conversation with a friend. That sounds really formal, doesn't it? I was talking to a friend and she recommended, and I thought, probably shit. But I watched it, loved it, was gutted when it finished. But I can guarantee over those, it was on over 5 years or something like that, they'd have been promoting it. It would have been talked about on social media. No, completely passed me by. So instead, I watched it following a recommendation. And that recommendation came from somebody that had seen the adverts, had watched the program. So we're going to also talk about recommendations and how your marketing and talking about having capacity is going to help other people tell potential clients about you as well. So talking about visibility, we need to not see it as you being vulnerable. You're not being vulnerable. I mean, telling people that you've got space for them it doesn't mean that you're losing clients. It doesn't mean that you're failing at your marketing. It could just mean that a child has started school full time, so you've got more time available. It could mean that a parent that you've been caring for has now been eligible to have a full-time carer from the council or something like that. So it's freed up some of your time. Or, I don't know, you just fancy working extra hours now that you've got into the swing of it. It could be anything. It really could be anything. So the first thing is to get in the mindset that there is no shame around needing clients at all. Amazon, remember, they are advertising every day. Second thing, tell your current clients, and I know this makes you feel sick, and your past ones. Obviously, if you broke up under difficult circumstances, then probably they don't want an email from you. But yeah, we're going to tell current clients and we're going to tell past ones as well. So we need to remind, if you like, existing clients that, do you know what? I'm here and I could actually be doing more for you. So don't assume that they're just going to contact you if they need more done, because I'm the same, right? I often want to utilize my team members more, but I'm always worried that they might be too busy and perhaps they might not feel comfortable saying, no, sod off. Because I know how it feels like when a client comes to you and perhaps wants you to do something that you can't do. In the early days of your business, it really is like worrying. You think, oh, if I say no, are they going to not want to work with me for all the other stuff as well? And no, it's not true. Even if they've got things that they know you can do and they would perhaps like you to do, they may think, she's mentioned that she's got those other clients. Maybe she's not got time to do it, or she's mentioned that she's still employed and so maybe all of her hours are taken. But no, I mean, when I contact, Rochelle does an awful lot for me. She's not just my PA. And I always put at the end of my requests is a no is always okay. It won't change anything. And she's not said no yet, but I still worry, If I knew that she had somewhere that I could perhaps look to see what her capacity is, it'd be great, it'd be much easier and I wouldn't worry about stuff. But if you've got the VA starter guide, then you'll know that there is a template in there for you to send to current and past clients that says you've got capacity. And unfortunately, I can't sell that template separately because the other things need to be in place for it to work. But I will share a snippet here with you. So the sort of thing that you could send to an existing or a past client, something like, hi, I've got capacity for a couple of hours a week. And I noticed that you've been quite busy with XYZ project. I wondered if you needed some help with that. What I could perhaps do is create a project list in your Asana so that you only need to think about what needs working on now. Let me know if this is something that you'd like help with, because I thoroughly enjoy it. And they'll be like, oh, actually, that makes so much sense. But let me just disseminate that a little bit, because you've gone in and you've told them you've got a couple of hours a week free. because they're current and past clients, you know what they're doing. You know what sort of work their business needs to do to survive. So it's always best to refer to something perhaps that they do or you've noticed them doing or they've done in the past and you wondered whether they might need some help with it to free them up to do something else. And then you could just briefly talk about how you would do it and then invite them to get back to you if it's something that they'd like help with. And then I always end it with something like I did in the example. I'd thoroughly enjoy it. Because I always just knowing that somebody wants to do something just feels great. It really is important for your clients, past and present, to let them know that you've got some capacity. You don't need to explain why you've got capacity. It's just not relevant. It's not relevant to them. They're not interested in that. All they're interested in is ways to get their business working even better. And there's so many other ways that you can tell, in inverted commas, your current clients and past clients. Send them an email, but you can also do it through your marketing. You can share a post. You can put a post out and say exactly what I said in that template email. I've got capacity for a couple of hours a week. I'm absolutely brilliant. Email marketing. So if your newsletters have fallen by the wayside, let me know. I can do them for £90, whatever you're charging. Get in touch and we can start tomorrow, sort of thing. And they'll be like, oh God, yeah, I've been looking for someone to do my email marketing. That's brilliant. What you can also do is in the email that you send to current and past clients, you could put something like, if you've got anyone in your network that you think may benefit from my services, and include a link to your services page on your website for ease of reference, then I would be so grateful if you could drop my name by them. Now, at this point, some people might be like, oh, shall we offer a financial incentive for somebody to refer somebody? And I've always said no with that. I've never asked my clients if they could recommend me to their own network, and in exchange I'll give them money, because I want people to recommend me because they like what I do, that they're happy with my work. I don't want it to be a financial incentive. And that's why whenever I share my affiliate links or I am an affiliate for anything, it's always because I have used the software or I've used the services or I've used the products and I love them. That's always why I do it. It's a tricky one. You do what you want, but remember, if they're going to refer you and you're offering them a financial incentive, you've got to make that money back. So if you were, say, perhaps going to offer clients, existing clients and past ones, £35 if they refer you to someone, and then they refer you to someone and that someone only uses an hour, you're back at zero. So do think about that. I also think, right, that we need to remind existing clients of all of the services that we offer, because they may have come to you wanting help with something that you've been doing since day one, but you may now have added a new service to your repertoire, if you like, or you may think, do you know what? I don't think that they know that I also do this. Let existing clients know about that. And again, you could put that in the email, or you could do a social media post and hope that they see it. But it's best to do it in an email, just to let you know that I can help with this. I've recently added it to my list of services, and it would be great to support your business with it. Let me know and we can get started whenever you like. It's just putting it out there, and it gives people or the business owners just a chance to think, actually, I need this. And this time of year as well, I'm recording this and it's going to go out, I think, around the end of October. It's when business owners are starting to look at their income and their profit for the year and start thinking, right, what changes can I make in the year ahead? And they start thinking about their goals. So it's a really good time to start. I mean, maybe it's something you could do every 6 months or every 12 months. Depends how often you want to do it. I wouldn't leave it any longer than 12 months, but you could have a reminder in your diary, perhaps every November, to email all current and past clients and let them know what capacity you've got and what services you offer. Wish them well for the year ahead and say that you've either loved working with them this year and hope that it continues, or it would be an absolute pleasure to work with them again in the coming year. Something like that. Just let them know that you're there. I'm going to give you an example, right? I don't think my team member has gone with it. She said I could name her. It's Kaylee. She is absolutely obsessed with Taylor Swift, right? Obsessed. Today, she just dropped in our WhatsApp group chat because me and the team have got a group chat. She just dropped a picture of Taylor Swift. I'm not sure there was any context with it, but I said to her, go and create a picture of yourself using AI so that you look like Taylor Swift with a tiara, massive tiara thing on. She did it. It took her 6 minutes to do it, thanks to Katya's AI course. I'll link to that in the show notes. And I also suggested she could put it out as a post. Like today, when I'm recording this, is when Taylor Swift's new album's dropping. So that's the relevance. And I said to her, create this image of yourself, and then you can put it on social media with Taylor's released her album, which coincides with me releasing 4 more hours in my diary every month. Here's what those hours could get you, and then you could list your services. So, I mean, I don't even know if she's got capacity. I don't think she's put the post out there, but I thought it was quite a good hook, and it shows how you can mix your personality with your business to attract clients. It doesn't need to be formal and stuffy or anything like that. If she was to put a post out like that, it's gonna, everybody's talking about Taylor Swift today, or Swifties are anyway, aren't they? And it shows people that she likes Swifty. She's had a laugh by creating an image of herself as if she is Taylor Swift. And it's also told people that she's got capacity. It's going to make people look at her profile. It's going to make people smile. Don't ever think that talking about capacity publicly needs to come with an apology. It's actually inspiring. I mean, nobody is going to look at your post and be like, look at her, she's got 5 hours a week free. I mean, if you can think of someone in your circle that would laugh and say something like that, then the block or mute button needs to be activated. Because bitterness isn't something you need to work on with them. They need to work on that themselves, unless, of course, they want to use those 5 hours at £35 an hour. Then you can help them work on the bitterness. But no, nobody is going to be laughing. Nobody is going to be like, so 5 hours a week free. She ain't doing very well, is she? They have no idea what your life is like. It's like you can't compare yourself to other VAs. And the reason I say it will be inspiring to put something like that out is it will help others think, oh God, so this is acceptable. I don't need to be worried about saying I've got time free. I mean, putting stuff out like that, you could even put out stuff like that every month. You could pin it to your Facebook business page or something like that, Coming up in December, I will have 5 hours a month free. Here's the services that I can support your small business with. Here's how to get started. And you could ask them to DM you, or you could put your email address, make sure it's a professional one. You could put your website address, whatever your call to action is. And you could just pin that. You could pin it on Instagram. It could be something like how you could work with me in December or January or something like that. Just make sure that you remove that pinned post when that month has gone or when that month is coming to an end, so that it doesn't look sloppy and out of place. Just make sure everything's current. With LinkedIn, you could perhaps feature that post on your profile. So another thing, now this may come as a surprise to quite a few people, and I do think I've mentioned it in a podcast early on, but I'm not going to assume you've listened to all of them. Those who haven't. Do you know what? Right, I should have like a stamp card. So this is episode 30, and I should have like one of them coffee cards. If you've listened to all 30, you can send me a packet of Percy Pigs. Yeah, nothing for you. Anyway, right. LinkedIn. Have you seen the open to work circle that people put on their profile picture? Well, if you're using one, you're going to have to know about this. That circle was actually created by LinkedIn so that recruiters can identify job seekers. It's not for self-employed people that are looking for clients. It is the complete opposite of what you're doing. If you've got that circle on there, a potential client, if they're looking for a VA and see the open to work circle, what are they going to think? No, that's not a hypothetical question. What are they going to think? I mean, it gives confusing signals, and it can harm your positioning, actually. I mean, they could assume that you want to be employed and not self-employed. They may think that your VA gig is just a stopgap. They may assume you're just looking for employment. they might assume that your VA business is perhaps not your main focus, and potential clients do want to know that it is your main focus, that you're not going to just disappear as soon as you get an employed job. And they may make the decision to invest in a VA who hasn't got that open to work circle. And I didn't know that the open work to work circle was for recruiters to identify job seekers until I kind of looked into it, and I thought, I just don't know. It just doesn't sound right, open to work. So for that reason, I got that little saying from Alan Sugar. For that reason, I made a new circle, and I made it, I don't know how long ago I made it, a couple of years ago now, I think. Might even be longer than that. But it is just specifically for virtual assistants, and it's the Taking on Clients circle. It says Virtual Assistant UK taking on clients, and it's like a peach and a pink and a beige colour, I think the colours are. I'll link to it in the show notes, or you can email support@catherinegladwyn.co.uk and Rochelle will send you the link. But the circle is in Canva. The link goes to Canva, and it's for you to upload your image into the background. But you must not, the instructions are in Canva, but you must not change the colours of the template, because it's the colours that people recognise over the wording. Because so many of us now view websites and apps on small devices, the shapes and the colours are what help us identify things these days, not the wording. So that open to work circle is probably more identified by the green and the white shapes of the letters as opposed to what you can read there. And it's the same for the Taking on Client circle. So if you've got capacity, grab one of those. They're free. Did I mention it was free? Taking on Client circles. Again, I think I've already linked it in the show notes because I knew I'd forget. Or like I said, you can email Rochelle and she'll send you the link. I've not told Rochelle. Now, another way, I know that when you're finding something hard and somebody just keeps saying, you got to do it, you got to do it, you got to do it. You're like, it just puts you off even more and it just makes it even harder. When I'm saying like, oh, you've got to market yourself consistently, and you know, we've all got stuff going on. We're all busy. We're all thrown a curveball when we're trying to walk in a straight line, but hear me out, because I'm not going to say it's tough or anything like that, but your marketing has to keep going. It has to. While you're not marketing, your old posts are just falling into the void. And the VAs who are being consistent, they're the ones that are popping up in my VA group with all these job ops for associates and things like that. You know, I know it's hard. I absolutely appreciate that when you've got so much going on in life, and if you're doing client work as well, it's just, where do you find the time? You know, and I am the last person to do a Molly May and say we've all got the same 24 hours. Especially given that I can sleep 15 of them sometimes. But I've always wanted to find a way to make that you've got to market consistently easy. And I found it. And to be honest, I never thought that it was anything that I could find the answer to, because I can't sit there and do the marketing for you. I'd love to, but I can't. So what I've done, and you may have already heard about it, I know a lot of you have invested in it already, but I've got my new course. It's Train ChatGPT to write your social media content as if it's you. I'm going to find some feedback that I've been given for it. Hold on a minute. So what I've done is I have created a way for you to completely manipulate ChatGPT so that it writes your social media content in your tone of voice. Now, you might be sat there thinking, I haven't got a clue what my tone of voice is. And that is absolutely fine, because I even show you how to do that. Now, I'm trying to find the reviews. Here it is. Let me turn that over. Game changer, it says, this one. This is a no-nonsense course which breaks down ChatGPT and how to use it to your advantage, not disadvantage. When reading this course, I had so many that makes total sense moments, and I can't wait to start putting this into practice with my future posts. I got to add this bit as well. I love Catherine's sense of humour, which runs throughout her courses and breaks up the training. Cannot recommend this course enough for anyone struggling with knowing what to post when starting out on their VA journey. Now, she's put very kindly, Lois has put, when starting out on their VA journey, but the marketing is difficult no matter how long you've been in business. I'm going to read another one. The tone of voice quiz was absolutely spot on. It identified that my tone is polished, who knew, and academic. My background is in education. Yeah, no. Using the broken down prompts to feed into ChatGPT, this course guided me to train it to create social media posts that actually sound like me and with a clear focus and call to action without hours of staring blankly at the screen or mindlessly scrolling for inspiration. Now, Nicola, I gifted her the course so that she could test it for me. I also gifted it to my team, but Nicola is just a, not just a, but Nicola is a virtual assistant. She's not a member of my team. And I gifted it to her before it went on sale. So that review could be considered incentivized. So I want to be honest there. I've had another review on Instagram. I'm not going to find it because my head's just going to swell. Do you know, I was putting the sales page together for the Train Chat GPT course and I kept coming up with so many taglines. Let me think of a few. No, I can't remember any at the moment now. But I came up with so much because it solves just so many pain points that I ended up coming up with like 2 months worth of content to promote it. I mean, it's a game changer. We all started our businesses for many, many reasons, but I know that probably one of those reasons on almost all of our lists is that for more time for ourselves, not to be restrained, not to be held like hostage by something you don't particularly enjoy doing. And this course gives you that back in time and headspace. I know what it's like to look at a blank screen and just that cursor just flashing and you think, no, the whole creative side of me is just gone. It's packed up, gone, and it's on an EasyJet flight somewhere. But yeah, the VAs who have consistent marketing systems in place will be the ones that are booked out in 2026. And I think that's why this Train ChatGPT course that I've done is going to be, or is already, a huge game changer. So just to recap, no, actually, do you know, we're not going to recap yet. I've just scrolled down. I've got something else. So some other ideas I came up with is to update your bios. You could maybe change your headline on LinkedIn, maybe change your bio if you're using Instagram on there, or you could change, do you know, when you're using Facebook, you're using your personal profile in groups. And when somebody clicks on your profile from a group, they all see something different. It's really difficult to explain this. So I'm in a group called Lightbulb. And if people click on my profile from Lightbulb, I can manipulate what they see. So with my Lightbulb profile, I've put, actually, I'll find it so that I give you the right information. It might make more sense then. So if I go into the Lightbulb group and look at my own profile from there, and I've put quicker than Bob Munden at responding, and I have pro photos. Now, the Lightbulb group is a group of journalists, and you can get opportunities to be in the press, which is really helpful if you're a business owner, because press coverage means an awful lot, doesn't it? Goes a long way. It's like free marketing. And one of the big things for the journalists is that people respond to their requests for information, and they really love it if you've got professional photos instead of like a selfie or something like that. And you can, you can create those using AI. In fact, I've got something coming out in HuffPost over the next few months, and they've used my AI images. I'm going to be completely open about it. They're AI, and the editor was more than happy. So that's amazing. That's why my intro on there says about that, so that people in the group, the people I want to attract, the journalists, know that. If I was in a group of small business owners and I contribute to that group in whatever way they allow me to do, I would put on my profile that I'm a virtual assistant and I have 5 hours a week capacity to help you with, whatever it is you do. Make sure you're using all marketing channels that you can. I hope I've explained that properly. Just to recap, when you go into a group where it says write something, your profile picture is next to it. So click or hover over that, then a box will pop up, click on your name, it'll open your profile, and that's where you can edit your profile just for that group. So it is brilliant. But if you are changing things to show that you are available, put something in your diary to remind you to get rid of it when you're not available or when the month changes, anything like that. So it doesn't look sloppy, because if you were to do something like ways to work with me in October, somebody goes to your profile and it's December, and they're going to think, oh, well, I guess I can't work with her at the moment then. You can even delete the post if you like. Make it really easy as well for people to understand what you offer and when you're free. Just make sure, like I said, you change it up every so often. Reintroduce yourself as well in Facebook groups. However, do check the rules of the groups, because being a VA is about being able to work proactively, being able to follow instructions without the need to be micromanaged or have your work checked thoroughly, because that means that it's costing the client God knows how much to work with you. So it is a real issue when VAs don't read instructions properly. So it would put people off if you are flouting the rules in groups. So do check the rules in groups. If you are allowed to introduce yourself, if you are allowed to self-promote, then do that. And always, when you're doing your introductions, just be human. Just talk about yourself. Like with the reference to Kaylee and Taylor Swift, it always just works so much better. And ChatGPT, if you've got my course, can help you with that human element and just to be a little bit more relaxed. Okay, so it's always good to set a reminder for yourself, maybe every 6 months, to just look at everything you're doing. And if you've got the VA Starter Guide, have a shifty back through that just to make sure nothing has fallen off your to-do list with regards to things you need to do to make sure that you are in people's minds and ensure that your business continues to thrive. Now, I'd love to know which ones you are using. And also, I'd love to know if there's anything else that you do regularly to ensure that, something that I've not covered. I'd love to. And I'll share that with your name as well, if you like. Just let me know. Email podcast@katherinegladwyn.co.uk with any ideas you've got. And I would be more than happy to share that on social media or perhaps even in a future podcast. But thanks for listening. And yeah, didn't we do well? The neighbour's not out there. He's probably not going to finish the job, is he? If you're ready to reclaim your independence, then subscribe to this podcast, because there is so much I'm going to give you. Oh, you've got to subscribe on your favourite channel, it says. What channel? I ain't going to be on the BBC, am I?